Hello guys, it's time for math. Today we're going to be working with counting money and also thinking about how much money we have and how much something costs if we have enough money to buy something, and also figuring out if we're buying a few items, could we figure out the total and then figure out how much change we're going to get. So a multi-step problem. So the first thing I would like for you to do is in your packet I gave you some paper money, and I would like you to get some scissors and a glue stick, and we're going to also, you'll need your math journal. We're going to cut some of that and put it in our math journal so that we can keep track of the different amounts of coins. So if you want to pause the video and get scissors, glue stick, and your math journal, I will be here when you click play. Okay, so you should have your math journal and your paper money, and I just need you to cut out 1 quarter, 1 dime, 1 nickel, and 1 penny. So again, pause until you have that all cut. Don't you wish you could do this in class? You could just pause me until you're ready to go. All right, so first of all, we're going to take our quarter, paper quarter, and we're just going to glue that right onto our journal. Okay. And then the same with our dime. Leave some room to write on. We're going to write the value and how many of that kind of coin it takes to make 100 cents or a dollar. So leave yourself some room to write. Okay. All right, and it should be in this order. Okay, quarter at top, then the dime, then the nickel, and then the penny, because we're going in order from the highest value to the lowest value. Okay, so our quarter is worth, can you guys think? How many cents is a quarter worth? Okay, so we're going to write the name, quarter, and then we're going to write that it's worth 25 cents. Okay. Not sure if you were seeing that. Maybe I better write in some pen. That might be better for you. Okay. So a quarter equals 25 cents. There we go. Quarter equals 25 cents. All right. Next coin is called the dime, and even though it is the smallest of our United States coins, it has a value greater than the nickel and the penny. So the dime is worth, think how much? If you said 10 cents, you are correct. So you're going to write 10 cents. Okay. And then our next coin, think about how much that is worth. What is it called? Okay, you should have said nickel. And it's worth 5 cents. And last is the penny. And how much is the penny worth? 1 cent. Okay, so again, if you need to stop and freeze that and catch up, please do that. Okay, so we're going to move on, and we're going to think about coins as parts of a dollar. Really, when you think about it, I don't want you to get too confused here, but really coins are fractions of dollars, right? It takes a certain amount to make one whole dollar. So let's think about that. How many quarters does it take to make one whole dollar? So that word quarter tells us it's a quarter of a dollar. That means 1/4 of a dollar. So that means it's going to take 4 quarters equal $1. Okay, 4 quarters equal $1. Okay, so now let's think about dimes. Dimes are 1/10 of a dollar, and if we count, remember a dollar is 100 cents, so how many tens does it take to get to 100? Well, count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. How many tens did it take? 10. So 10 dimes equal $1. Okay, so let's think about this. So a nickel is half as much as a dime. Okay, so let's see, that would be twice as many nickels to make $1 as it is the dimes. What is twice or 2 times 10 dimes? Right? That would be 20 nickels equals $1. Okay, and then lastly, the penny is 1/100th of a penny. It takes 100 pennies to make $1. Do you guys remember the rule for making penny plural? We changed the Y to an I and add ES. Okay. So 100 pennies make $1. So now I'm thinking, well, you know, we don't only have $1 bills. We have $5 bills and $10 bills and $20 bills. So I just want to see if we can figure this out. And you don't have to write this in your journal. Well, let's think about that. If it takes 4 quarters to make $1, I wanted to know how many quarters it would take to make $5. Well, let's think about that. One set of 4 quarters is $1, okay? And we want 5 sets. So how many would that be? Let's think about that. What about 5 times 4? So let's think about that. If 4 quarters make $1, okay, so 4 quarters make $1, so let's make one set of 4. And then let's do another set of 4, because we want to make $5. Sorry. So one set of 4, another set of 4, another set of 4, one more. And that's 5 sets, right? 5 sets of 4 quarters. Let's see if how many quarters it would take to make $5. So here's 1 set, 2 set, 3 set, 4 set, 5 sets of 4. So let's count by 4s 5 times, or count by 5 4 times, right? The commutative property says we can switch it around. So 5 groups of 4 equals 20. So it would take 20 quarters to make $5. Okay, so we're not going to do that with all of them, but I just want you to be thinking about how money and multiplication and fractions, all of those things kind of work together with all those same patterns that we've learned before. Okay, so I want you to have this in your math journals so that when you're counting money, you can always refer back to that, okay? All right, so if you're still finishing up with your journal, you go ahead and pause the video and rewind if you need to. And then we're going to go on. So our next thing we're going to work on is, I'm going to say that we have some money, and I want you to help me count it. Okay. So when we're counting money, do you remember what we said about counting money? That we always start with the largest amount. Now when we're adding or subtracting, we always start with the smallest amount, right? We start with the hundredths, and then the tenths, and then the dollars. But when we're counting money, we always want to start with the largest. So did you notice my bills are a little bit different, right? This one is a $5 bill, and then we have 2 ones. So let's count with the largest amount. The largest amount we have here today is the $5 bill. So let's count 5, and then add one more, 6, add another, 7. We've got $7, but now we've got this change as well. So I've got a quarter, 2 dimes, 2 nickels, and 2 pennies. So think about which one would we start with. The largest value, the greatest value, would be the quarter, right? So 25, then add 10 onto that. 25 plus 10 is 35. Add another 10, 35, 45. Now we're out of time, and we ended at 45 cents. So now we'll start counting our nickels. 45 cents, 50, 55, and now our pennies, 56 and 57. So we would write that amount as, we'd write our dollar sign, and then we'd write $7 and a decimal point. And then how many cents? 57 cents. Okay, let's take a look at one thing I saw on IXL. Some kids had trouble with when, let's say we had our $5, and let's say this is the only change we had was this penny right here, okay? So we had a $5 bill and a penny. When I write that amount, let me show you, okay? When I write that amount, we don't write it like this, $5.01. No, because when we write money, we need to have all of these spaces filled, the tenths and the hundreds too, okay? So when we write $5.01, we need to write it like this. $5 and, it's the decimal point. And then, because we don't have anything higher than 9 to make it into this tenths, we're going to write a 0 there and then 1 penny. Okay? Now, let's say I had $5.10. Okay, so when we write $5.10, we write it like this. $, 5, decimal, and then because we have a dime, think of that tenths column as the dime column. We have 1 dime and 0 pennies. So we write it like that, $5.10. So this one, $5.01, looks like this. Sorry, it's not even on the camera there. $5.01 looks like this, and $5.10 looks like this. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're using that placeholder 0 when we're doing money. Okay, so remember, if your cents don't add up to a dime, it's going to be in this column over here, in the cents column. Okay, if it adds up to a dime or more, we'll put it in the tenths column. And then if it's more than a dime, if it's more than 10, we'll change 10 of those dimes in for $1. I know that gets a little confusing. We'll keep going over it. We'll keep reviewing it a little bit till it sticks. So if it's not making 100% sense to you, we will work on it some more. Okay? All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to determine a set of money, and then we're going to see if we have enough money to buy something. I hope the lighting is okay for you guys on that. All right, so let's say I have 5, and then I have 3 ones, okay? And let's say I have a quarter, a nickel, and a penny, okay? So let's think about how much money we have. We always start with the largest denomination. So I have 5, 6, 7, $8, and 25, 30, and one more, 31 cents. So I have $5.31. So let's think about if, put the 5 over here. Let's think about if we have enough money. Let's say something costs $5.10. Would we have enough to buy something that costs $5.10. So the way we can do this is, in your work text, you're going to draw an X on the money that you use to make that amount. So let's say we had something that cost $5.10. Well, I know I could use this $5. So instead of an X, I'm just going to put a sticky note on it. So I know I could use that. And then what about the 10 cents? I don't have a dime. So what do you think I could use? Penny's not enough. This nickel's not enough. I would have to use this quarter, wouldn't I? Okay, and then I would get some change back. But that's what I would use if I wanted to buy something that cost $5.10. Okay. So we'll do some more work with that on your work text in just a minute. Okay, let's do a little review on adding and subtracting money. So let's do a couple examples here. So let's add $3.55. Why don't you go ahead and write this on your math journal and we'll do it together, okay? So $3.55, and we're going to add $3.18. And remember, when you're adding or subtracting money, you always want to make sure your decimal's in the same place, that your hundredths are in the same place, your tenths are in the same place, your dollars are in the same place, your dollar signs. Get it all nice and neat and organized. Okay, so think about, do we start here or do we start here to add? Remember, we want to start with our pennies or our hundredths. So we're adding, so 5 plus 8 equals, you said 13, you're right. Think about what I'm going to put under my hundredths here. Am I going to put the 1 or the 3? If you said the 3, you're correct. And then I'm going to put my 1 up here. So remember, this was like having 5 pennies and 8 pennies, and it makes 13 pennies, but then we wanted to change in 10 of those pennies for 1 dime. Okay? All right, so now we're going to add up our tenths or our dimes. So we can have 1 plus 5 plus 1. So I'm thinking 5 plus 2. What is that? Hope you said 7. And then we don't need to rename anything. Okay? Then don't forget to line up your decimal point in your answer in that same column that was in your addition problem. And then we can add our dollars. So $3 plus $3 equals $6. And don't forget to put your dollar sign. Okay? All right, I had something to erase this, and now it's gone. What do you know? Sticky note works just fine. Okay, so let's try a subtraction problem, and I want you to go ahead and write this in your journal so you're doing it with me. Don't make me do all the work. Okay, so we're going to start with $5. I know this was a problem for some of you on your work text and in IXL, so this is a good one to practice. Okay, so we have $5 minus $2.29. So write that in your journal. Okay, so if this is all we have and we want to take $2.29 away, that's not going to work, right? I'm going to have to change this into some ones, and I'm going to have to get some change, some quarters, some dimes, some nickels to be able to take that 29 cents away, right? So we're going to have to definitely do some renaming. All right, so let's start. We always start with our hundreds column, which is, think of it as like your pennies column, right? So remember, I didn't have any coins to begin with, right? This 0 up here is just telling me all I have is this $5 bill, and I want to take 9 cents away. I can't do it. I've got to do some renaming, don't I? Okay, so I can't do 0 minus 9. So I go to my next door neighbor, the tenths. He's got a 0 too. He cannot help me. So we go all the way, same pattern, right? We go all the way to our dollars. Now we're not going to have $5 anymore. We're going to change this, okay? We're going to change this into $4. And then we'll take the dollar that I took away, and we're going to change it into 10 dimes. Okay, so now I have $4 and 10 dimes, which is the same as $5. It's equivalent. Okay, so now I can subtract. Okay, so actually, I've still got my pennies I have to take care of. Okay, so they're still waiting over here. So now take 1 dime away, and we'll give it to, break it into 10 pennies. Now we can subtract our pennies. So 10 minus 9 equals how many? 1. Okay, so now, oops, I made that a 1 instead of a 9. Okay, there we go. So I took 1 dime away to give to the pennies, right? So I have 9 dimes left. So I have 9 minus 2 equals 7. Okay, I want to make sure that my decimal points are all lined up. And now I can subtract my dollars. 4 minus 2 equals 2. And don't forget your dollar sign. Okay? So remember, the pattern's just the same as when we did regular subtraction and we had all those zeros. You have to go to the next door neighbor and the next door neighbor until you get some to give and then to give. Okay? The pattern's just the same. All right, so you'll get more practice with that on your work text and on your IXL. Okay? So I want you to go ahead and work on your work text today, and I'm going to see if I can't somehow post the answers for you tomorrow to check your work, okay? So I want you to make sure that you are adding and subtracting carefully and correctly. Okay, so let's go on to one last thing before we get to our work text. So remember how we've done multi-step problems where we have to do some adding and then subtracting, or we have to do some adding and then some multiplying. We just got more than one operation in our problem. And so a lot of times that happens with money. So let's say you were going shopping and you were buying some cards. You needed to get a Get Well card and a birthday card, okay? And you had your $5 bill, okay? Chances are, when you go up to the cash register, the cards aren't going to equal exactly $5. So you need to know how money works, okay? So let's say you found a card, and one of them was $1.79, $1.79, and the other card was $2.10. To find out the total for those two cards, what do you think I'm going to do? I hope you said that you would add them together. If we want to find out how much those cards cost all together, we would add them. Okay, so much easier to add, right? So we have 9 plus 0. You can think of this column as the pennies column. 9 pennies plus 0 pennies equals 9 pennies. Then you can think of this as your dimes column. So we have 7 dimes plus 1 dime equals 8. Then you want to make sure your decimal points are all lined up. And then you can add your dollars. So $1 plus $2 equals $3. Okay, so that's the total of your cards. But remember, I said you have $5. So how much change are you going to get back if you give the cashier this amount of money and the cashier says, yeah, the cards came to $3.89? How do you think the change is figured out? Now, we're lucky we have cash registers that calculate that for us, but in the olden days, you would have to figure out the change. So let's pretend we're in the olden days and we're trying to get the correct amount of change. So you would take your $5 and then you would subtract the amount of the two cards. Okay, so put your subtraction sign and then the total of the two cards, which was $3.89. Okay, and then we're going to subtract. Remember, we're subtracting. Can I do 0 minus 9? No, I can't do it. So I'm going to go to my tenths, or I can think of that as my dimes. No dimes, because remember, all I had was a $5 bill. I didn't have any coins with me. Okay, so I have to go all the way to my dollar place. take $1 away, change that to a 4, right? Okay, so I changed one of my dollars in for 10 dimes. Okay, so I'm going to change this now and make that 10 dimes. Okay, so the pennies are still over here waiting. So now I'm going to take one of those dimes. How many dimes do I have left? 9. And then I'm going to give one dime over here, change it into how many pennies? Hope you said 10. Okay, remember this pattern is just the same as what we've been working with all year. Okay, so 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 8 is 1. And then $4 minus $3 is 1. So that's how much change you would get back when you bought your cards that were $3.89 when you paid with a $5 bill. Okay, so we'll be practicing with that a little bit more. Okay, so on your work text, let's get that out and open to page 237. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to write the value of the money that we have, and then we're also going to do some exercises where we cross off amounts of money. Okay, so I hope this works okay for you guys. I wish I could make it bigger. Okay, so for number 1 on page 237, okay, we have some money denominations, so look carefully. We have a $5 bill and a $1 bill. Okay, remember when we're counting money, we start with the largest denomination. So we start with the 5 and then we add 1. So now we have $6. Now let's count our change. We've got 2 quarters here. So remember to count by 25s. Do you remember how we do that? 25, 50, 75, 100. That's how we count quarters. So we have 25, 50. And then let's count the next value. So 25, 50. Now we're counting 10. So we have 50. We're counting a 10 on that, 60. Another 10, 70. Another 10, 80. And then we'll end with our nickel, 85. So we would write $6 and the decimal point stands for the and, 85 cents. Okay, now on these down here, we're just going to mark off the amount of money we would use to get this amount, $6.57. Okay, so we have a $5 bill and 2 $1 bills, right? Okay, so I'm going to definitely use this $5 bill. Would you guys agree? So put a big X on it. Okay, and then should I use another one? Yeah, because we want $6. Do I need to do anything with this one? No, because I need to make $6. So I have my 5 and a 1. That makes my $6. So I'm just going to have its leftovers, okay? All right, and then we have to figure out 57 cents. So think, what would you do to make 57 cents out of the coins that you have here? Well, I see we have 2 quarters. Just making sure I can see. Looking in the camera is not that easy. Okay, so I have 2 quarters. I think I want to use those, right? How do we count these quarters? 25, 50. And then how am I going to make the 7 cents? Because I've got $5 and $6. Got my $6. Now I want to make 50. There's my 50 cents. Now I want to make 7 cents. So I've got 5 pennies. That's not going to be enough. So I'm going to have to use a nickel. That makes 25, 50, 55. And then add on 2 more to make 57. So it doesn't matter which coins or which pennies you take, just make sure you've got 2 of them crossed off. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, so our next amount is $3.97. Okay, so I'm going to start with my largest amounts. Would I be using the $5? No. So I would cross off these $3 bills. Okay. And then I want to count my change. So I'm going to start with my largest coins, or the largest value. So I see I have 3 quarters here. So I would probably want all of those, right? So let's see, 25, 50, 75, correct? All right, I'm still got a way to go. I have 75 cents and I need to get to 97. So we've got 75. Let's go to the next value. Okay, let's cross off those quarters. Our next value, greatest value, would be the dime. Okay, so 75, 85. What's one more 10 after 85? 95. Ooh, we're getting close. We need to get to 97. So now what do I need to do? I need to add a couple pennies. So we're at 95 cents, 96, 97. Okay, so remember, you can rewind. You can play it over again to see if you need extra help on that. And then there's going to be some IXL problems so I can see your progress right away. Okay? I hope you enjoy math today. Take care.